What's up? Last video I talked about my crazy ex, but I didn't really finish the story, so let me get you guys up to speed quickly. So during my second year of college, I met a girl named Lulu. While she was... okay, that guy came out of nowhere. While she was hysterically crying and I offered her a smoke, we quickly hit it off, you know. And what started as a casual flirting soon turned wild after a few movie nights. And that's when I noticed her behavior become super unpredictable and things escalate. Okay, wow. You know what? One second, guys. One second. This AK is actually doing damage. Alright, someone's there. Come on. What are you doing, brother? What are you doing? But yeah, things escalated fast and we eventually hooked up. And her wild side didn't even stop there. She later keyed my door, broke into my place, making her the... oh my fucking god. Making her the craziest ex that I've ever had. And yeah, that's where I left off last video. Okay, you know what? I am feeling this AK74 you, man. Once the full game comes out... ooh, come here, boy. Who you trying to slide out? You know what? My team is actually dominating right now. But yeah, so Lulu kept coming over again and again, and it was perfect, you know. She would leave... can you die, sir? She would leave afterwards. There was no commitment, just fun. It was a dream for a college guy, uni guy, you know. So she texted me, come to my room, we need to talk. And normally I'd be freaking out thinking she was about to tell me she was pregnant, but there was no way, right? Sure, we were doing it regularly, but she was on top of her birth control like clockwork, and I was wearing protection, you know. I got a strong pull-out game, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, whatever, every day at like 4 p.m. she'd snap her fingers and say pills. It wasn't even like she set alarms. She just had like a baby and then like spidey sense or some shit, man. It's crazy. Okay. Wait. Alright, where are these guys at now? There's a couple people here, right? Oh, I didn't even know that guy was laying down prone like that. But yeah, and so I went to her room and she said, do you want to date? You'll be living off campus next year and it won't be as easy as going down a flight of stairs to see each other. And I said, good point, let me think about it. And after a day of thinking, I thought, nah, hell no. Sure, we had like great chemistry in the bedroom, but I never found her like personality really interesting. I'd be killing it in the school pool and she just floated there motionless like Matthew Perry's corpse. But yeah, I met back up with Lulu and let her down as gently as I could, you know. She seemed to take it well from my perspective, I would say, at the time. But little did I know that my watchdog is doing crazy right now. But little did I know that her brain was starting to tweak. And that summer I was on Snap posting on a bunch of bad bitches, you know, around the pool and their walls, not realizing Lulu was watching and bugging out. Okay, one second. Yeah, this girl was bugging. She called my friends. She was like crying. They were like, you aren't even dating, so what's the problem? But Lulu's feelings had tied up her logic and she wasn't letting it go. Almost wanted to steal that from my teammate. Okay, one second. I'm in the zone right now. I'm in the zone. I'm streaking up. Okay, hi. Hello. Oh, there we go. 20 gun streak, man. Yo, this AK is so much fun, man. So much damage. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, fast forward to the beginning of the fall semester. My roommates and I were throwing a party and things were going great, you know, until Lulu showed up and started like blocking... okay, get out of the pool, sir. And started blocking me at every turn. And she even sat down in the middle of a King's game and said, I want to play. Okay, I thought I was the enemy. But yeah, she sat down in the middle of a King's game and said, I want to play. And I handed her some cards and went back to flirting with the girl next to me. But then Lulu dragged all the girls into the bathroom, and a few minutes later they came out and none of them wanted to play anymore. And I asked her, like, what did you say to them? And she said nothing. And I said, that's it, just get out now. She started crying, you know how they do, playing the victim, putting it out. But I didn't care, man. I was like on business. I was standing on business right there. I knew I wasn't getting any play with her around cock blocking me, so I kicked her out. And okay, one second. Yeah, I had to switch to this gun, man. I have no ammo. But oh my god. Oh my god. We actually got it. We actually got it. Oh. Oh, that's funny. At least we got the nuke. But yeah, she started crying, playing the victim, and I didn't really care. I knew I wasn't getting any play with her, and I kicked her out. And a few days later, I was walking to a bar when I saw one of my friends across the street, and Zela, I called, but he kept walking, you know. I kept calling him. One second. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on here? Okay, but yeah, I called him and he started walking, and my drunk self thought that maybe he didn't recognize me, so I ran over and I was like, yo, what's good, man? But Adrian seemed apprehensive. I don't know, man. Okay, I just got sniped. But yeah, I was like, what's wrong, man? Did I say something? And he said no. But Lulu said, ah, there it was. Lulu spreading lies again. That's when high me thought, you know, what's the meanest thing I could say right now or do right now? Okay, I'm losing my voice right now. I'm gonna farm these guys a little bit before I call in the nuke. It's a bit too early for that, right? I'll call it in soon. But yeah, I said I could think, what's the meanest thing I could do right now? I could call her something basic, but I'm crafty, you know? And then it hit me. Like the last time we hooked up, I thought, this doesn't feel tight. So I suck in a finger, then two, then my whole hand. I literally curled that shit, and it was still a lot. And that's when I came up with the perfect name, Whole Hand Lulu. Chef's kiss of insults. And there's the nuclear as well. Oh, look at that. Look at those fireworks, baby. Look at that. But yeah, I texted her the nickname, and needless to say, she didn't take it well. She fired back with a little death threats. Like, it was really brightening my day, you know. So the next day, I got a text from a number that I didn't recognize, and it turned out to be Lulu's sister. And she went on this huge rant about how I had no idea who I was messing with, you know, and how she would ruin my life for disrespecting her sister. And naturally, I showed my homies, and we all had a good laugh. We started spitballing ideas of what to text back, and that's when I said, yo, how about I text her something like, I respect your sister. I even wash my hands before playing her like a puppet. And even my buddies were like, bro, that might be a little too much. So I wrote it out and was about to send it when I started having second thoughts, you know. Normally my brain always picks like the funniest option regardless of the trouble that it would get me. But however, I didn't let everything go. Okay, I have to mute that guy. Over the next few weeks, I kept getting DMs from guys on Snap threatening to beat me up, and I always responded with, you're so adorable, because I understood that they were just trying to protect someone who was spoon feeding them lies. But let's be real, threatening someone on Snap is like a 10 with herpes, flashy at first glance, but ultimately worthless, you know. And the funny thing was, like, Lulu was telling people I was harassing her while she was encouraging others to harass me. Like, girl, don't you see any projection here? Even though she seemed super hyper fixated on me, I couldn't care less. No matter how many times we hooked up, I never loved her, so I didn't have that emotional desire for revenge. But I did enjoy seeing her lose it every time we bumped into each other. And she would scream, I hate you, and I would think, how much power do I have? If just my presence alone can ruin your entire day. It made me so happy. But of course, this only fueled her insanity. And in December, I got a call from campus asking me to come down to the office. And naturally, I was nervous because, let's face it, 95% of the time when a girl says a guy's harassing her, she's right. But luckily, they were reasonable. They told me a woman named Lulu was claiming I was harassing her. They'd heard her side and now they wanted mine. And the first thing that I told them was, we used to have a romantic relationship. And they were like, wait, you two used to date? And yeah, I was like, why do you think all of this is happening? And the guy just rolled his eyes and said, continue. And I showed him all the threatening texts and messages I had received, and by the end of it, the officer was completely on my side. Like, however, since the police had been called on a student, I still had to go to speak to the director of, what is that timing, bro? But yeah, I still had to speak to the director of student affairs, and this woman was the complete opposite of the officer. Before I could say anything, she started listing all the threats of punishment, harassment of students who will not be tolerated and you could be expelled. She lectured for several minutes, and finally I interrupted her and said, oh, I thought that was my helo. What? They also got a helo, okay. But yeah, finally I interrupted her and said, so you've only heard one side of the story, and immediately came to a conclusion. I didn't realize an accusation was a conviction. Maybe you should take some criminal justice classes to learn how gathering evidence is important in a potential crime. And needless to say, she was pissed. But I just sat there, arms crossed, knowing she didn't have anything on me. And then fast forward to Valentine's Day, and I was dating a lovely girl named Rachel, and we were walking on campus holding hands, and then we bumped into Lulu. She went ballistic, screaming, "Fuck you, you piece of shit." My girl started chewing her out, saying, "He doesn't want your stinky coochie ass anymore, flat face bitch." I was laughing, dragging Rachel away, telling her it's not worth it, just ignore her, you know. And the next day I got another call from campus. I went back to the officer and spoke to the same officer, and he told me we got more complaints of harassment. And I was like, "Officer, I've done my best to avoid her. In the meantime, I've spoken to you. I've only bumped into her once on Valentine's when I was with my girlfriend." He tried to stay professional, but I could tell he was thinking, "I can't believe I have to deal with this nonsense again." And then a week later I got a call from Lulu saying, "We need to talk." I thought she was going to try and bury the hatchet, but nope. Turns out her paranoia was at an all-time high, and she said, "I know you keep stalking me. If you don't stop, I'll be forced to take legal action." At first I said neutral, "Lulu, I'm not stalking you, harassing you, or frankly even caring what you do." But she was adamant, man. Like, "You think I'm making this up? You think I'm crazy? I have witnesses." I said, "Look, I'm not calling you crazy, but calling the cops on Valentine's because you saw me holding hands with another girl is a little cray-cray." And then she started threatening my career, like, "If I file charges against you, you'll never be able to finish graduating." And that's when my brain snapped into sarcasm mode, and I replied, "Damn, girl, I didn't think my dick was enough to make you lose your mind, but here we are. I know I'm a god at this, but you're going to have to find a new prophet, okay? Lulu the Lulu." But to this day, I've never seen someone so angry. She couldn't even form words. Just sat there shaking. That's when I knew it was time to dip. Alright, well, on another ruthless, man. But yeah, about a month later, I got a call from my friend Maria, who just so happened to be Lulu's roommate. And Maria invited me over to her place, and I was like, "Is this a trap?" And she assured me, "No, Lulu's gone for the weekend, it's just me." So I went over, we were hanging out, when she casually mentioned, "You know, I found your schedule in Lulu's desk." I was like, "Wait, what?" And she handed it to me. I said, "This is your schedule, right?" And I looked at it, realizing, holy shit, she actually broke into my place. And Maria was like, "What are you talking about?" I told her one day I came home and I noticed the kitchen window was open. I asked my roommate, "Why did you open the window? You know it's busted and hard to close." But he said he didn't open it. And since we weren't robbed, our laptops and TV were still there, I thought nothing of it. Little did I know someone did break in, and that's when my schedule went missing off my wall. Then Maria dropped another bombshell and said, "I probably should have told you this sooner, but one day I caught Lulu next to your door." I was like, "What?" I was heading over to her place at night. I found her bent over by her door, and I asked what she was doing, but she just played dumb. And I said, "God damn it," because someone had keyed my door and left some bullshit, I don't even know. And I just assumed it was some random drunk, but that was some crazy shit. Luckily I didn't have any more interactions with Lulu after that, and I thought it was all behind me. That was until about a year later, when I was working at the finance company, when I got a phone call from my old roommate, and he was like, "Yo Zayla, listen, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I just thought you should know." Oh, 50 and 2, damn, I popped off. But yeah, Lulu's pregnant. I was like, "Whoa, what?" "Yeah, actually I was wondering, do you think it's yours?" And I was like, "No, we haven't hooked up in like 2 years. I reassured him, and I was like, "Okay." He was like, "Okay." I was getting worried for a second, but then I said, "Bro, you know what this means, right?" And he was like, "That she won't be a father." But, well, yeah, but also it means she trapped someone. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I told him she was so distraught over the fact I could hook up with her for over a year and not have any feelings. Okay, maybe I'm just an animal, but that she found a way to make someone stay forever, or maybe she just forgot to take her birth control. That's what he suggested. And I said, "Nah, she never forgets to take her birth control. Besides, even if she missed a few days, it's still really effective." And I was like, "Nah, she trapped someone, and it could have been me." And he was like, "This crazy chick could have ruined your life." And I was like, "Instead, I get to live and see another sunrise." And we both laughed. And the moral of the story is, don't dip your meat in craziness. Don't stick your dick in crazy. Yeah.